Good.
Good evening. You all set?
Yeah, I was just making sure it was working.
Okay. We'll call to order the meeting of the Tilton Northfield Fire and EMS Fire Station Building Committee to order. It is August 5th at 5:31 at the Tilton Town Hall. Those present: Dennis, Derek, Tim, Chief, Matt, Kevin, Lisa, Paul. Those absent: Nate. Nate is the only one absent. We'll start with the minutes of 7:28. I'll entertain a motion.
I guess I'll move to accept that, as we'll probably amend them.
Dennis made the motion.
I'll second.
Lisa second. Discussion.
I just have a comment on the apparatus. I think we determined that plural is apparatus and singular. So throughout the document, for a couple of words, apparatuses. Just
I have clarification on the third paragraph of the second page. We transitioned the second paragraph, we were talking about Sanborn Road. The third paragraph, we're talking about Park Street, and I just would like that differentiated. We are talking about two different buildings in those two paragraphs. Is there anything else? All those in favor of accepting the corrected minutes of 7:28, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And Kevin abstained because he was not here. Public comment. Travis is here. Are you a taxpayer in
No.
Tilton or Northfield?
I'm
Okay.
not.
There's no one here from the public, so we will tear into tonight's work. So, I'm not sure you're aware, Kevin, but we decided that if the chief had any correspondence with Lorero, that I would be involved in the conversation, be it telephone, Teams, or whatever. And since then, that's been the case. Now, Lorero has asked to schedule a Monday morning meeting indefinitely, through January of next year, to discuss as, we're progressing, and we've agreed to that. So, if you'll forgive me, or whatever, I'd like to just summarize my notes from that meeting, bring all the members of the committee up to what I think was discussed. So, we discussed the finish schedule for both buildings, and I noticed that on Sanborn Road, we had, on one of the buildings we had an unfinished ceiling, and the other one we had acoustic tiles. So I asked the architect why, and he said in one situation it was nothing above, in the other situation there was a mezzanine above. So what we decided was, first, cleanliness and sanitation, it would be acoustic tile ceilings in both of the EMS storage rooms. We discussed the fact that we voted on a 6-bay garage at Sanborn Road. So we asked them to go ahead and proceed on that with those guidelines. And their next step for both Sanborn Road with the 6-bay in Park Street, once we approve it, is their next steps are to set a roof shape and structure and provide elevation prints. And they thought that they could have the elevation and the roof structure by the end of this week. So they're jumping right on whatever guidance we give them. The rest of it was kind of mundane, but I'm gonna go over it anyways. There was discussion about the space for a dumpster at each site. The chief said now they have one dumpster in Center Street, nothing in Park Street, so we're planning on a dumpster at both, since there'll be people living at both facilities. They asked if we could have another meeting before our next scheduled meeting, so I'll just throw those dates out there. What they asked is if we could meet on August 19th and also on the 25th. So the 19th is a Tuesday, 2 weeks from tonight. Our next scheduled meeting is Monday, 3 weeks from tonight. So we'll think about that. We'll come back and address that. Ryan Worsham, the project director, asked some questions about exterior signage. What are we looking for on the outside of the buildings? Signs for each door. Are we looking for a description of the room or a room number? And the chief gave, I thought, very good guidance there. Dorm rooms are blank. Other rooms would say mechanical room or electric room or chief's office or administrative manager's office. He asked about flagpoles, whether we would share one on Park Street with PD. And the chief recommended that we not share one, that we have our own. He asked about accessories such as toilets, the type of paper and paper towels and soap, so they can just start laying out. Are we going to use like hand cleaner dispensers? Are we going to use bar soap, that type of thing? Like I said, it's pretty mundane. But it's all stuff that's going to have to get answered, and if they get the answers from the beginning, it makes it easier.
Who was giving them the answers? The chief?
The chief was, yeah, I was.
So like if they're gonna put an electric hand dryer in the bathroom, they have to run electricity to it.
Right. Whether we're gonna use window blinds or shades, whether we want them electric or not, we told them, the chief told them blinds and manual. Whether we wanted an accordion door in that training room, divider, the chief replied yes. Would there be a door in the courtroom from the training room? And the answer was yes. The turnout walkers, whether we were going to reuse what we had or use new ones, the types of mirrors, and on the mezzanine, whether we wanted permanent barriers or whether we wanted one rail that was removable. And we said, the chief said one rail such that we could put stuff on the mezzanine by removing one rail. And that was it. It was a very fast meeting. The important things were taken care of at the beginning. So with that being said, tonight what I'd like to do is review the Park Street plan because they made the changes that we asked and see if we I'll like that if there are any changes we want, or whether we can send that to them as being a final floor plan. So I'll open the floor for discussion on Park Street.
I have a question on finishes. Are the interior walls wood or metal? It says gyp, but so it's wood framing.
Wood, I assume it's either wood or metal studs, but they didn't go over that.
Well, they said, because they didn't really give you the wood. It says wall finish, you got painted gyp, FRP, painted CMU. I know when we looked at that station in Derry,
It was all block.
it was all block, even interior, which was kind of nice.
It was.
So I was just going over a finish schedule. I just don't know the frame.
More than likely, no.
It's metal.
It should be low.
We can throw that.
If we can give them guidance. If we want block, let's tell them. If we want studs and gypsum, let's tell them.
Is it sprinkler? Is the
Yes.
durability block is really nice, but it's costly. Metal and wood and chip.
We can ask them to provide us with a comparison cost of doing it, a metal studs and gypsum board or a block.
It will affect the room size because a 4-inch wall with studs and an 8-inch wall with concrete.
No, they have 4-inch block,
Oh, stand correct.
and it's hollow basically, so they can run stuff up and down the middle.
They're showing 6-inch walls though anyway, aren't they?
On the exterior,
Well, even in between the dorms, they're showing bicycle.
Yes.
yeah, they're showing 6-inch total, so it must be
Yeah, everybody uses 2x6s.
2x6 with 1/2 inch and 5.5, so should be 6.5 inches actually.
Yeah, but you're
So do we have any comments about the layout of Park Street?
I like it. I'm just, I think it's gonna, just opens the door for moving equipment around big time. I mean, even in front of that boiler, you're looking at 41.5 feet now.
Mm-hmm.
You park the ladder, well, probably not park the ladder because it's 38 feet. I don't know if you probably need more than 3 feet for the front and the back
So
the door.
the deputy and I had an extensive discussion about this layout today, and we both decided that we really, really think it's a great plan. We like the way the apparatus is, because putting the boiler room on the back wall gives us if we need to use this bay that's closer to the front of the building to put something big in there, we can. On the living side of the building, we like the flow. Everything's a straight line to the apparatus room. And the only thing we would add is a couple of security doors from the lobby so that you can't get into the building or down the administrative ring. Other than that, we thought it was a really, really good plan.
Kevin, the changes that we asked them to make, if you look at the building, the right-hand side of it, those 2 garage doors were 10 feet wide, and the boiler room was on that right-hand exterior wall. The hose tower jutted out a little bit, and there was a small jut out where the doors started. So we asked them to put the man door in that upper right corner out the back instead of this side. We asked them to increase those doors to 14 feet. We asked them to move the boiler room from that right-hand side to the rear. That's where the snowplow was being stored. And to remove those jut outs as much as possible. The one at the hose tower is still there, the other one is gone.
You say the doors were 10 feet?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but here's another plan. It was 10 feet here, what we do is
And you went to 14?
14, and we shrunk it this way.
Why didn't you stop at 12?
We got the space for the 14. move this wall out so you can put a truck in.
Any other comments about the Park Street plan?
You went to 14 feet only for no other reason than the space is there for a 14-foot door?
No, there was not space for a
It was not
14-foot door.
removed.
There is now.
There
There
is
is
now,
now. We made
because we
space
moved
for
the
it.
boiler. And the idea being that where the forestry is labeled, that bay is now deep enough for a ladder or a ladder from the front.
Just by moving one wall, we need all that extra space for, and flexibility for equipment. for our purpose.
So is everybody content with version J.2.1?
I am.
Well, I think we should approve it or not, but
There was something where they needed to add another bathroom again because we needed more garage space. Didn't you resolve that with the code per people? No.
No, I resolved elevator issues with the code people, and bathrooms I couldn't get around.
Even, because we're adding space for equipment, not people, and you have to add another bathroom.
Yeah.
It just,
Is that where that one little bathroom came in, the mechanical electrical room?
Yes,
Just to tuck another bathroom in there?
yeah.
it just seems silly.
Government working for you.
Because how many do we have now?
There's like 3 on that wall.
There'll be 6 total now.
3, 4, 5.
one in decon, which is segregated.
Oh, yes, it just seems crazy.
That big, yeah.
Any other questions or comments?
I'm curious. Who at this table thinks this plan will pass district meeting?
That's not our goal.
Okay.
Our charge from the commissioners was to supply a plan under those guidelines. Whether it passes or not is not up to this committee, it's up to the townspeople.
Would it make sense to forward a plan you think might pass?
Depends on
You
who
know,
you're
we
talking
had someone who knows more about this than anyone else that I know sit there and tell us, back up, back off, watch what you do. And we've looked at
I
him and
think
went,
that person was also one of, if it's who I think you're speaking about, that signed off on the charge, the revised charge that we've got it.
it was after that the discussion took place, was it not?
It was after that charge was given unanimously by the chief and the 2 deputy chiefs. Whether or not I think this will pass is irrelevant. We've done, I think, and I'll speak for myself, I've done everything. I mean, I've been coming to these meetings for over 2 years, as you all have. My main focus the whole time has been to reduce the size to only what we need. So it's always been my goal, small station, something that's less expensive, whether or not it passes.
I know the Park Street station started at somewhere near 20,000 square feet and it's down to like 15,000 now. So that's 5,000 feet that's gone. that when you looked at originally, looks pretty reasonable.
But there was one station originally, not two, right?
No, then there was the Sanborn Road Station that started off at 12,000 and now it's down to 10,000.
The 20-something thousand square foot Park Street station was Park Street only, there was no other station. Because remember the first charge, one station at Park Street. That's how that got to be 20-some thousand square feet.
Well, I'm talking about since the charge has changed, since the final charge that we were given, there's two stations, with the Park Street being around 20,000 on the original design, and the Sanborn Road around 12,000 with the original design. And I think this committee has done very, very hard work at looking at everything, trying to reduce it. And then when we thought we had it good, we reduced it even some more.
Kevin, when you and I were on the previous committee at the single station at Park Street, this right here would meet that criteria. They then changed it to, that was when we were supposed to just current needs. The two stations came from future needs. So this would meet the current needs like we had proposed, that's what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Adding Sanborn is
And
the
very much,
future, if you put the totals
Okay.
together.
And keeping Center Street, is that?
Yeah,
Because, I mean,
yes,
because this,
yes,
because I was
this
gonna
was
say, 'cause
gonna-
this would not meet current needs,
The-
all by
Right,
itself. With no Center Street.
You don't have enough base.
Because
we
of the
just don't have-
base,
yeah, we don't
because
have
of the
enough,
base,
right.
okay. Yeah, but
That's-
originally, that's what it was to keep Center Street as a satellite and this be headquarters. That was the previous committee.
Right.
That was 6 years ago. But the, and that, remember there was arguing that you couldn't get a 14,000 square foot building on the site. We've squeezed in a 15, 16 almost. Well, you gotta including the upstairs. No, 15 and a half.
15 and a half, yeah.
I think the prize here is the affirmative vote at district meeting. And I think most of the committee has lost sight of that.
You think what?
I think most of the committee has lost sight of that.
Also,
I mean, you see, from the beginning, we talk about want versus need. And
Right, but I think you're confusing the price, because the want versus the need, the population that you believe will fail this is looking at a dollar amount. I'm convinced of that, because if they weren't, then they would be focused on what we need, and they would be amenable to some sort of agreement. But I think you're basing your opinion on, well, no one's gonna go for the cost, right? And frankly, we will never build a fire station in this district if that's the only thing that we look at. Because I don't believe you could sit there and reasonably say that we can get away with like $1 million garage or a $2 million garage. It's just not gonna happen. I mean, look at, we get an extra bathroom that's shoved down our throats because of code. I mean, it's the 21st century and people have gotta get grips with it. So we're either gonna have what we should have or we're not. So it's gonna, in my opinion, it's gonna we're either gonna get something passed or it's gonna remain status quo.
But we have shrunk areas to the best of our ability, to the point we can't shrink them anymore.
we were not asked by the commissioners to deliver plans that would pass district meeting. If we were, I'd have said, I'm out of here, I'm gone. There's no way to predict that. What we were asked to do was in that 3-page charge, or 3 steps, was exactly what we're doing. I don't know how to do it any differently than we are. Whether we come up with a result that's amenable to everyone in town or not, sorry. I don't think board's amenable to everything. I just don't. And that wasn't what we're asked to do.
Tim, do the commissioners want a plan just to say we have a plan, or would they prefer something that they think will pass?
Well, of course, we'd like to have something that will pass. I think it was summed up by one of the members last meeting was, you know, if we were using the cost that they had preliminary gave us for Sanborn Road, we're looking at $6 or $7 million. Well, if it was half of that, there's still going to be a whole group of taxpayers in town that would vote it down, which I think is to your point. So if we, you know, if we're sitting there in our mind thinking we can do this, we can, the dollar amount that will pass is $10 million. So a dollar more than that, it's not going to pass. Well, we can't do this for $10 million. It's becoming quite obvious. So if the taxpayers in their mind don't want to spend $5 million, right, the whole thing is for naught. So going back to Dennis's discussion, we have to present. It's no sense to build something that's not going to meet our needs. And so if we take the bathroom out, and it's still $10 million more than the taxpayers want to pay, doesn't matter whether the bathroom's there or not.
On paper. All good on paper. Right?
I don't know why that struck me.
Because it's true.
So
I mean, it's-
it'll either pass or it won't. I mean,
We were talking last meeting about the bays up at Sanborn Road, 4 versus 6. And, you know, if that adding 2 bays raises the cost of $1 million, well, that $1 million isn't going to make or break this project because I think it's so big already that, you know, that $1 million is going to happen. You know, and is it a big exercise? Yeah, we could have been 10 years into a $4.9 million station. We could have been 8 years into a $7.2 million dual station. It's just gonna keep getting more expensive.
It's hard to figure. I mean, I just to sit here and try to. I've tried it before, and I'm guilty as charged, but I'm done with that. I've really my opinion on a lot of things has changed over time and whatnot. And trying to guess what people are going to think is like, if I'm not mistaken, 10 years ago, I think we didn't get that 4.9 million station because there was a lot of folks in the crowd. It wasn't the money, and it wasn't necessarily the location. It was the fact that Tilton School was going to have access to their back property on our dime, even though they were giving us the property. You know, so how do you combat that mentality out there? You know what? And if that mentality is still out there, I mean, there's nothing anyone in this room can do.
Right, if somebody paid for the whole station, they
Yeah,
still voted.
we'll give you the land. You got to pay for your own station, but because we left a 16, 18 foot spot where you could continue the road. Oh my goodness, that was just not
I wasn't even
amenable.
aware of that.
I wasn't either, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was a huge
I
discussion.
was not aware
Yeah,
of
we're
that.
doing this whole project to help Tilton School out.
Yeah, that's what it was. They were making bank on
We
us.
were also bringing water and sewer up, so we weren't getting our $1 million worth. Being facetious.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, yeah.
We got a piece of we would have had a piece of property that would have cost us $1 million in utility upgrades. Where can we buy $1 million property nowadays
Good luck.
in town?
I appreciate though, you know, I think all of us in the back of our mind, you know, want to have a project presented that we think the taxpayers will support.
I mean, if I think, if you're going to present this plan, you gotta stand up in front of people and say, I like this, I'm voting yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
We also have to look at how it's being funded. What is it gonna cost the average taxpayer? Figure out how many years of
On that note, did we have a finance, whatever happened to the finance committee?
Well, I've got a group of people who are willing to help us out with that. We keep wanting to have some numbers.
Oh, yeah. But you know what, maybe on that note, I was thinking about it on the way down here when I was driving down, I was thinking about the valuation of Tilton. You know, and we're getting, you know, so the other thing to present to the taxpayers out there as well is like, we're not the only taxpayers in town. There's a lot of new businesses, a lot of value. That project up there on the lake it's increasing Tilton's value by exponentially.
$93 million last time.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, that will alleviate some tax burden. Maybe, I mean, I don't know how significant that'll be,
It's
but
about 6% of the tax revenue at the town.
You know, all this building and the 400 units up here that, I don't know the guy's name, you don't know. Is a demand on services, which is gonna require more of us. And that's
exactly,
gonna
and that's why we
cost
can't half-step
more
this.
money. And you're never gonna cover the cost with any development. Yes, but that's a little bad.
But I'm here.
You know, I'm just saying that as this sits right now, I'm district meeting, lost.
Didn't you want us to say we ever had you?
No, you know, when I first joined this committee, I said that I will be on board as long as I believe in what we're doing, we're on the right road. And that we can get something taxpayers will support. Because I don't believe there's a person alive that wants to shit can Center Street more than I do.
I think I could find some.
Yeah,
The point people that will say, no, you can't get rid of it. There's a lot of those. I mean,
Well, like, at the end of the day, we all came into this meeting this committee, having beaten our head against the wall, trying to propose something that we thought the townspeople would help us with.
I mean, is there any possibility that we come together as a group and we say, here you go, commissioners, this is the deal? And they go, yeah, nope.
I hope not, after all the work we've done.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't be is that really just out of the realm? Because it takes two of the three of you. Because you're the only ones that can bring it. Right? You know,
I feel like the commissioners have given the full support behind moving forward. That's a great question.
with whatever we come up with, the commissioner's just gonna go,
Well,
Well, they are the ones that unanimously endorsed that charge. So if we're providing them with what they asked for, they better not disagree with it. Or
because they
else
came up with
it
a
won't
two-station
get
plan,
done.
which right from the get-go would not support the population of voters that you're talking about.
we're in a pretty shitty situation.
anyways, when you drive anywhere but New Hampshire, you drive by these beautiful fire stations, and you're like, how do they afford them?
Yeah, that's nice. But that's,
But I also believe in investing in the community too. I'm a Charles Tilton fan. You know what? The guy put a lot of money. I mean, I look at the future. You know, it's like, it to a certain extent saddens me when my daughter says, I'm never coming back.
she'll come back.
No, I'm thinking, I'm not sure she'll even make it back across the pond. But,
Really?
yeah. But you know, but I mean, but no, seriously, I'm serious as a heart attack. I'm not trying to, you know, I mean, we have to look for the future for, you know, I mean, look how long that library's been there. That's a beautiful library. It's in Northfield. You know, Charles Tilton built that for the towns. I mean, he's built a lot of stuff. What's that? Did Charles build that?
Yeah, the
He put a lot of money into it.
Hall Warner Library?
Or maybe not. But he built a lot of stuff. We'll say, built a lot of stuff around. But you build things, you want to build crappy buildings. I mean, if you wanna attract people to your town, one, you gotta have a good school system, and two, if people come in on it, these people don't care about anything, so I'm not gonna provide the industry that's gonna provide a future for the children, other than maybe, I mean, look at what we're building over there. We're not building anything to get them into some serious, you know, employment. You know, I'm not saying anything about that industry, but I mean, we'd like to give our kids a shot at having some good industry here,
Absolutely.
some good industry. And if you don't support, if you don't have a support system for it, they're never gonna come. So then there's that side of it for me.
I think we've done the best we could with the charge we were given. How it pans out in the end is in the police case. But the more public outreach you have, this makes sense now to me.
I think Northfield will be ecstatic that it's gonna be, the home station's gonna be, I mean, that was a big bone of contention for a long, long time for a lot of people.
I'm fine with it being over here. But you can sneeze that far. And that's never been a thing for me.
Is there any further discussion on the building? I'll entertain a motion to accept this layout.
So moved. That's Dennis.
Second,
I'll second
Kevin seconded. So what we're gonna vote on is whether or not we're supplying this layout to Valero as the final Park Street layout, such that they can do their roof shape and structure in elevation drawings, and provide us with costing such that we can initiate our public outreach. Is there any further discussion on it? All those in favor? Aye.
it.
Aye.
All those opposed? It's unanimous.
So the only question that we've come up with so far for Valero is cost for blocks versus studded walls.
So it was presented as a two-story building. And we were given plans of a two-story building and an elevator.
I get rid of
Yes,
I'm
you
sorry.
did. Thank you
Not
very
me.
much. But
it was a 20-something thousand square
I
feet.
question everything I'm told because of things like that. We were told, no, it's gotta be on the bed. Well, if we hadn't questioned that,
Well, no, you have to have an elevator for 2 stories, so that was not, you know, we were presented a 2-story building, yeah, initially, by Valero.
and these are the people we're trusting to do the right thing by us. I don't know, it just seems,
With our guidance, I mean, that's why we're here, is to provide them guidance.
In our last meeting that we had with Tom Roy, he was very specific. We're gonna do whatever you want to do. He says, we're here for you.
And if I'm not mistaken, we gave them a smaller footprint to put that square footage on. You know, so that's how they came up with a 2-story building. And then to Lisa's credit, she was like, hey, you know,
well, it's not any bigger or smaller. Right? Same piece of land. But I'll tell you, the elevator being government's a big deal.
Well, it added square footage that we were allowed to do this. And we did chop off some square footage off the room.
Did you, I'm sorry, Kevin, did you see Lisa's 5-page kind of re-layout of, I'm not sure
It's
you
here.
were.
Yeah,
It's here for
yeah,
that.
I was
And I
thinking
have
this.
a, just the
Yeah,
little
that
scribblies.
was one, only tonight, 1, 2, 3 meetings.
Yeah, I just had the little scribblies that said we do that.
Okay.
Before I forgot a meeting in Fisher.
I've been trying to send reminders, but if you're fishing, you're
Well, I
not
missed
looking your email.
I had it in my head, it was getting there.
Okay, so Chief, you provided us with 3 other documents, the finish schedule for Sanborn and Park Street.
And then furniture schedules for each. I personally have not gone through those, so I can't validate what they say and what I think.
That schedule came from Lorero?
Yes, and so, the finished schedule I've reviewed, I think you've reviewed it, and we discussed it with Lorero at our phone conversation, and I agree with what the result of that was. The furniture schedule, I really wanna sit down with the deputy and Derek and go through it and talk with our administrative manager, see what, what it says in there, and is that what she needs, or, we haven't really reviewed that yet, to see if it meets our needs, if it's too much or too little.
Well,
I think
let's
that's a good
defer
idea.
it. I'm sorry,
I think that's a good idea.
I do have a question on the finish schedule. The apparatus.
wait,
Okay.
we're on
You're
the
on the other
furniture
one?
schedule
No, okay, I
right
thought you
now.
already did the finish one. because we
That's what
talked
you
about
were
seeing
talking
them.
about, right, Chief? Was
I was saying that I haven't gone through it, and neither has anybody within the fire department gone through the furniture schedules.
Okay, does that have any impact on the engineering drawings of the building?
No, because furniture is probably a separate line item, FF&E, furnitures, fixtures, and equipment, so
Will this be part of the warrant article for the station?
maybe, maybe not. I'm gonna try and, if we can finagle it out of the apparatus and equipment fund, the equipment portion of it anyways, rather than bonding it, I think we should do that.
Well, my comment is if this is not going to be on the warrant article for the building, it's not something that we need to prioritize right now.
I agree.
I agree with you as well. We should really look at it otherwise.
I think it may not even be within our purview.
They probably have a system that does this, Lisa, maybe you could speak to it, because if they're gonna do electrical plans, they need to know,
They need
you're
to
gonna have
know.
a electric range or gas range, you're gonna have a hood that's vented, or, you need to
Right.
know all that so you can get all the electrical.
They do, but I don't know that this,
Right.
the committee, I don't know
It's irrelevant
what you
to
need
us.
for,
That's like
It's-
asking you, what color is the wall gonna be? Like,
right, or where do you wanna put this or that, I think we've done a job on the building. The finishes is part of it. As far as what you're putting in the rooms, that's not our forte,
It makes no difference to me unless it's something
maybe.
off the wall. I don't mean on the floor.
Periwinkle throughout or no?
If you could tell me what color periwinkle is, I might go with it, but I don't know.
Okay, Lisa, you had.
Well, because we were talking about the finishes, it says that there's no ceiling in the apparatus space, we're gonna look up at trusses.
I don't know.
It says
I would say they will design it so that it has to meet, the structural load, the shear load, and everything else, and probably in the most efficient way that they can design it. Maybe you are looking at parallel cord trusses, maybe you're looking at something else, or
But
maybe
exposed?
you're looking at plywood ceiling and then gypsum board over that. I don't know what we're looking at.
Okay, they specified exposed. Exposed to me is there's no ceiling,
That's correct.
right?
But that doesn't need to be seen on the apparatus way, does it?
So that depends upon how they engineer it.
It would be kind of weird.
Well, if-
You're looking up at the trusses, you'll see ductwork
You know,
electric wires everywhere. And
one of
Well, that's
these
all the
restaurants around
restaurants
here,
are
if you
there.
look up, you can see everything.
You're right, they
It's
painted
all
black. They
Painted all black.
Yeah.
So right now they're proposing exposed. I don't know.
I can ask that question.
I was just
That-
very
that might
curious, I
become
was just
more
very
evident when
curious.
they
Ceiling
show us what
stuff.
the ceiling is, what the roof is
Sheet
made
rock.
of.
I mean, I'm just questioning.
Pretty
you
sure
know.
that's how Franklin's
Well,
is. isn't
my
it?
question was in reference to what is colored concrete in the apparatus bay?
What is what?
Colored concrete.
They're gonna
Oh,
put
on
it,
the
they're gonna
floor?
put it in
They
the mix.
put a dye in the mix and it makes the color. So
Is
it's
that
throughout.
necessary?
What color you want?
Periwinkle. So why would you do that?
I don't know.
I'd rather have a colored epoxy coating on the
An epoxy on an apparatus floor
Yeah.
has
It
to
doesn't
be
work?
maintained.
floor.
I would just rather have it
Because of that.
sealed
It's regular.
because
Seal
tires
it.
are turning,
And be
seal
done
it
with it.
or polish it or something. I don't wanna put a product on it other than painted lines. Because every fire chief I talk to, it's really good for 15 years or so, and then it requires, sometimes you have to grind it all down and start all over again. I don't think that's a mixed cost that the district needs to have when concrete is just fine.
If you use colored and you ever have to patch anything in the future, you won't do it.
You would have to try and color match it.
It wouldn't matter even if you use no color. You're
Right,
not gonna
it's-
match
right,
the
we just
concrete.
put a patch in Park Street and it's never gonna match the rest of the concrete.
So if you get an oil stain, you just oil the rest of the floor.
There you go.
That's what you do at your house, right?
No, I use the epoxy with the little sprinkles and stuff, and it looks like crap now because it's all worn off.
Okay, that
So,
was his
yeah,
point.
exactly.
Yeah,
So I shouldn't put that in my
Uh.
garage then. I haven't even sealed them. Okay. All right, I was just questioning what they,
I'll ask them what they mean by it and see what they come up with. I know they have an answer, I just don't know what it is.
you need to do a spell check. Mezzanine is not spelled that way. And captain has an A in it on the floor. So,
I'll tell Joe to do spell check on this label.
You laugh, something like that will catch somebody's eye in a presentation. What?
Yeah,
Right?
I have that on. That is not spelled right, that is.
Kevin will shut the whole project down. Mezzanine spelled wrong. Can you trust these
I'm
people?
out, yeah, you.
The captain's office is not
You
spelled.
had me up until then. Okay, any other questions or comments on the finish schedule? Because they're gonna be using that to determine costs. So,
It'll be a cost factor, absolutely.
right.
And how that gets
Well,
funded remains to be seen.
Yeah, I just don't wanna be dancing around changing things on them. Okay, so we'll set the furniture schedule aside for now and address that if necessary. If
Well, is that a question? Do we need, is there, are they looking for us to approve that, or?
They just sent it to me and said, look it over, and I haven't had a chance to look it over.
on Monday morning meeting next week, I'll ask them.
I think it's gonna be on Tuesday, because I'm out Monday during the day. They should change it to Tuesday. I'll be golfing next Monday during the day.
So it's the 12th, not the 11th.
They should change, I'll call them, I'll talk to them tomorrow and have them change the invite.
So what I'll ask them next week is specifically what furniture items are required for them to know prior to, or what answers will they need in order to move forward. If there are specific answers, like for instance, an air dryer in the restaurant thing, let us know.
I think we're gonna use paper towels like normal. Those C-fold or whatever, paper towels. Hair dryers just roll germs around.
Okay, any other,
I mean, it looks to me like they need the answers to that, but this building committee is not the right people to give them the answers. You understand what I'm saying?
so what you're saying is the
That
chief.
they've highlighted certain things, I'm sure if you need a computer setup, they need to know where's my computer setup gonna be so they can put the wiring in. Same thing with
They do, we
Outlook
don't.
box, they do, right, somebody
Yeah.
needs to
That's what,
assist them, but I don't think that we, the building committee, is the right people. You know,
okay,
chief, the fireman,
So you're gonna use any of this stuff?
am I?
Yeah.
Just the door, and if it has a handle, I can open them all set.
Be a lever.
It's gotta be the lever if you're going into the conference room, because I'm getting
so
old.
does everyone
Please
agree
channel.
with Lisa's comment that this is irrelevant to us?
It is, yeah, I think it is, and I think it will remain irrelevant, as, right, it could become relevant relative to cost.
Well, right, immediately though, you know, the chiefs have to decide, are these office setups in their little diagrams accurate? Because that'll dictate where they put computer jack and which wall. You know, but that's not
Right.
something we're gonna decide.
Do they still wire for that stuff, or is it all wireless?
It's both.
Is it?
Yep. And nothing beats wired
Yeah.
devices. Nothing. Speed, reliability, wired is better than Wi-Fi.
I got no wire, unless it's not an inch.
And that's why you don't get your emails. That's the main thing.
I paid extra to run Cat 6 in my new condo,
Did you?
yes. So my TV's hardwired to the router, things like that.
I don't even have a TV.
Years ago, I did that at my house, and it's all
I used to do it.
antiquated now because the wire isn't even the same.
And you're probably back in the 5 instead of
I
the
don't
6.
think it was even prior.
I used to hardwire phones and cable TV in every building I built, every single room, including the bathroom.
Ethernet cable, it's not the same.
Okay, so
It's all
any other
digress.
comments or questions on these documents? Okay, next meeting, is the 19th okay? It's a Tuesday?
So,
It is
they
not-
asked for this meeting?
Yes.
Why did they ask us?
Because we're telling them we need elevations, we need
Okay.
drawings sooner rather
So
than
they need
later.
information from us.
Right, to move forward.
And I think the only appropriate answer is yes, we need to be.
Well, I want to make sure it's amenable to everybody.
I won't, I can't make one.
But after this meeting, I'm going back to my office. I'm gonna compose an email, send it out, I'll copy you guys. But whether you want the meeting, I'll include that if we have the meeting, and I think we should. And he said he was gonna get the elevations and stuff to us by the end of this week. When I receive that, I will send it out to everybody.
When you say they want to meet, it's online.
Yeah, so or Monday, no, they don't, not on the 19th, they want us to meet on the 19th.
And the 25th.
Well, they didn't specifically give those dates.
Okay.
But no,
They want it sooner rather than later.
they did not
Monday
want
the
to wait
18th?
3 weeks for our next meeting.
I can't
Is
do
the
anything
point.
that week, Gordon has surgery, so I'm a nurse then. But that doesn't mean you guys can't be.
I could do, well, I just cannot do the 19th. I have my post meeting that night.
Well, is the 20th better? It's a Wednesday night.
I am not available Wednesday night.
Is Monday the 18th?
I'm pretty sure that's fire training for me, isn't it?
Usually I train on Monday, so.
I'm good that week, other than Tuesday.
Tuesday. You're out all
But,
week,
you know,
right, Lisa?
Yeah, I can't leave the house.
Okay.
I gotta-
You don't have to explain, just, yes, you do. Tim, is there any date good for you?
Monday or Tuesday work fine, either one.
That, Monday's not.
Monday's out because I got fire training, so
Is Tuesday okay,
Tuesday will work.
Kevin?
As far as I know.
Okay. Why don't we shoot, Derek?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't we shoot for Tuesday the 19th, knowing that Lisa and Dennis will be out. And we'll make that at 5:30 right here. And we'll also do the 25th, which is our scheduled meeting, is a Monday. Okay.
I assume they're gonna provide you drawings prior to that meeting, and that's why
Yes.
they want.
Yes.
So
Yeah, definitely.
we'll send them out. I can probably look at them and provide you with comments.
Okay. Yeah, we can read your comments into the record.
She can, if it's only one person, like you can put a phone on the table and do, put it on speakerphone. Does that work for you?
Yeah, or I can just, if you're just reviewing the drawings, I can look at the drawings ahead of time, like I said, and provide an email we can discuss. Or I can probably call and we'll see how.
If you want, I can even drop a printed set off to you, so you don't have to.
Oh, if you get it by email, that's fine.
You're gonna get it by email anyway. So.
Yeah, that's fine. I can print all of them by some.
Okay, so our next scheduled meeting is Tuesday, the 19th at 5:30. Next meeting after that is August 25th at 5:30. Anything else we need to talk about?
I just have one question.
Sure.
In the beginning of the meeting, I've never seen this done before. In the beginning of the meeting, Travis,
Mm-hmm.
you asked if he was a taxpayer.
If he was a resident.
Either way.
Okay,
Why was that?
because if he had any input, it makes a difference. If he's not a taxpayer or a resident, then it provides different weight. Now, I can honestly say Travis has never offered it,
No, I was just,
but I didn't want to
He
exclude
whispers
it
things to me.
either.
no, I guess
Sweet
my
nothings.
perception was if he was not a resident or taxpayer, and you open to public, he wouldn't be able to speak.
I don't know what the RSA is specifically on that, but I'll be honest with you, I would never prevent
No,
anyone from speaking.
I did not mean to let you think, I think you thought that.
No, but I think it's just like when we have district meetings, all non-residents have to sit up in that section. But I think the body can allow someone to speak.
Well, in a public meeting like this, it's a public meeting if there's an opportunity for public comment. That person could be from anywhere. For example, I could go to Nashua, their city council meeting, and their public comment and speak. I don't own property there, I could probably spell Nashua.
One other thing I'd like people to think about is the public outreach. So of course, we're going to be using Lorero to assist us in that. But if there's anyone that would like to do that, we should discuss it. And as soon as we have some drawings, we're gonna start proceeding with that. And I would just like to get participation from this group. Okay. Anything else? I entertain a motion
So moved
to adjourn.
to adjourn.
Dennis, second.
Second.
Lisa, all those in favor of adjournment? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 6:32, Lauren, thank you so much.
Hey, that's fine.
Oh,
It ain't gonna get you anyplace, it's dead, that's it.
Where's mine?